Hey Wolfpack fans, it's Marcy Bullock with part one of cover letters. So the cover letter is this document that you send every time you send a resume. And some people might see an advertised position and it says, please reply with a resume. It might be an online submission, but you always include the cover letter. The only exception to that rule is if you are physically handing the resume to someone in person, which we're not doing very much right now due to the global pandemic. So today we're going to learn a little bit about how to structure our cover letter, what to include, and how to follow up after submitting the documents. So before you start, you want to know more about the organization because this letter is going to be custom tailored to that market. If you're writing it to Red Hat, it's going to look very different than when you would write it to SAS. If you are writing it to Biogen, it's going to look very different than if you were writing it to GlaxoSmithKline. Each of those companies has their own audience, their own values and mission statement. So one of the best kept secrets is use the DHL library chat function. There are some amazing librarians who are right behind their screen ready to virtually chat with you. And once you know you have an interview coming up with someone or you're going to be sending a cover letter out and you want to know more about that organization, you can use all of the databases that the library has to give you more information to tailor your cover letter. And even tailoring your resume is great too. But today, this letter goes to one specific target market. So there are a few different types of cover letters. You've got the broadcast letter that you might send out to all of these different jobs within an industry. So you want to work in IT as a project manager, and you find all the IT companies in the geographical area you want to apply to. You might not see an advertised vacancy, but you're introducing yourself. That's a broadcast letter. Second letter is a networking letter. Now, that's more where you get a referral to an organization. Someone recommends that, oh, I have a good friend that works at, and then you send the letter directly to that organization and you say the name of the person who referred you. What you are asking for in that letter is a conversation because there's no job open. So you would also watch our video on informational interviewing. And the third kind of letter, which most of you will be writing, is the advertising response cover letter. That means the job has been posted and you would like to be considered for that position. Whenever you are submitting these documents, whether it's resume or cover letter, it's great to format them all in a very specific way. You will see some examples of that today, and to save it as a PDF so that no one can make any edits to it. So here's an example of a format. You would have your name at the top. It would be in a bigger, bolder font, maybe matching whatever you put on your resume, then your contact information. Now, some people are even taking out their geographical street that they live on just because of cyber stalking. That is okay. You can just list the city and state if you would like, and then your phone number and email, because that's how someone would reach out to you. So it's almost like a header that you'll make for every single cover letter. And then you'll have the date, you'll have the name of the hiring manager, the company, and their address, and all of this on the left margin, dear, the following. If you don't know who to address the letter to, do some digging. For example, one candidate who was applying to the Career Center did not see in the advertisement posted on the NC State website that I was chair of the search committee because it wasn't posted. So she went and did her research and found out the director's name and addressed the letter to the director. That was great for me because I realized she took the initiative to be resourceful, and it wasn't important that she knew that I was the person. So you can usually find out who heads up the department that you would like to be working at through doing a little bit of digging. And I would recommend too that you make sure you get their title right, or say a higher title if you're not sure. So here we have the anatomy of the cover letter. We've got that header that we just talked about, which shows that we are using the same header as we had on our resume. Now we're moving into, again, if we don't know the contact person's name, we can include the company address and say, "Dear members of the screening committee." That is totally fine. Then we want to get into all the reasons why we should be picked for this particular opening. So the middle part of our cover letter, it is going to change based on where we apply. Maybe we'll have a template cover letter that will make some tweaks to here and there, but honestly, you never use the same cover letter twice because you're applying for multiple positions. And if you're applying for multiple positions at the same company, that can get a little tricky. So you probably want to pick the ones that are most interesting to you. You include the name of the position in the company in each paragraph, again, very tailored. And each time you highlight accomplishments that relate to exactly what they are seeking. That's where there is no doubt that you know what this company has to offer and you are an excellent fit for the vacancy. You've read the job description, you know that that's your rule book, and now you are using that to prove that you have the evidence stated that you are a good fit. Siren in the background, not sure if you heard that, but recording live from home in the pandemic. Here we are with Sarah Wild's cover letter. This is the one I gave you the example of earlier that I was on the search committee for, but she found the name of my boss. That is fantastic. Now, what we've done on here is handwritten all the wonderful things that Sarah did in her cover letter, which is why she got chosen for this role. Each of these word clouds that you see, such as team-oriented and collaborating and student learning styles, these are actual wording from the rule book, which is the job description. So she went and got so specific on each one of these cases, one page or less, reiterated her interest. I think this is a fantastic cover letter, and clearly she got chosen for the job. So this is the end of part one. Feel free to pause on this letter just to dig in a little bit more before moving on to part two. Marcy Bullock with part two of cover letters. So we just ended on Sarah's wonderful cover letter, which we wrote specific comments on. I'm going to give you the Barney Philosophy now. If you remember the show from your childhood, it's I love you, you love me, let's work together. So the whole idea behind a cover letter is that you start off with what you love about the company. So what you love about one company is not what you love about a different company. So name the job and also mention something specific that you would like to contribute. Express your enthusiasm about the opportunity and show your passion. That's the I love you section. Again, I will critique cover letters and I'll often read them over and I'll say, I feel like this letter could be sent to 10 different places because you didn't get as detailed about what this place does and what you're excited about relating to your possibility of being employed there. Now, you love me. Well, this is obviously you selling yourself. So this is where you get really specific with examples to highlight your qualifications. You use your action words and always answer why an employer would hire you. Again, this is a letter. This is your writing style. The resume is just the facts and it's in bullet points, phrases. This is all grammatically correct and it's your story. So it's really got to have a little pizzazz and back everything up with examples. Now, finally, let's work together. Of course, that's the goal. You want to be chosen to get the interview. So you're going to thank them at the end. Again, let them know how to reach you and show your sincere interest. So let's look at the next example cover letter. This is a great one for an intern who is maybe a rising junior here on campus. And this particular cover letter says, Dear employer. Well, we might say Dear other members of the search committee if we just couldn't find out the name of the person, but we're going to dig as deep as we can to get the name of the person. Then we're going to tell a little bit about our background here. Now, try not to have every sentence start with I, but try to grab them at the beginning. And in the second paragraph, we see, why am I a perfect fit? This is what everyone wants the answer to. They want to know why they should pick you. So now each of the phrases listed in this second paragraph, the sentences, give reasons why this candidate matches exactly with what this company is seeking. And then at the end, it says the email one more time, and it says, I await your response. Some people say something like, I will contact you the week of July 5th to further discuss my interest. That shows a little bit of assertiveness too, which is fantastic. The next one here has the search committee at the very beginning, and it shows you all of the paragraphs, which I like the way this starts. I'm going to read it out loud. It would be a lifelong dream fulfilled if given the opportunity to advance the mission of North Carolina State University. So this is a candidate for work at the place that I work. I want to see that they're super excited about working with me because I can't teach that. And look at the next line. If I could design the ideal job description for myself, this is exactly what I would create. So now I want to read more. Well, I know this person has the passion. I know they have the drive. Now I want to see specific examples of why they have the skills and competencies that I am seeking. And it ends with go pack because we're the wolf pack. So we know that that fits in really well with our audience. So know your audience. That is part 2 of writing your cover letter. You are welcome to schedule an appointment with your career counselor to have your cover letters critiqued. We are happy to read them over and give you feedback. And once you get the first one together, you're going to feel great.